Sorry about that. We had some small technical difficulties there. Let's get this show on the road. All right. Just need to go over here. We are officially live. All right, everybody. Let's continue where we left off. Remember the blood of the citizens was the easiest way to go. Oopsie, dropped the mic. This thing does not want to stay up very easily. Stop it. Behave. Good microphone. It's loading the game. It's loading up the game. The game is loading and we're gonna go and hunt the night today. Back at the hospital. It's time. See if I can keep going. There's some side quests I can do, and I don't think daytime will stop. See, do I have a map? Yes, I do.
I cannot enter.
Midnight Garden, huh?
Scowl voices in the garden. I should investigate. If they were to find somebody...
Ah, Scowl. I got a lead stick. Yummy food! Photograph.
So, Mr. Hooks and Nurse Hawkins are an item. Those two have hidden their affections well.
Who else is here? Any more skulls?
It's locked, all right.
Looks like I got all the skulls. Hey, here's a door I haven't gone through yet. Hello. Is there anybody to eat? Help? Anybody need help over here? No? Alright, we had another side quest. Let's continue.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
I have some good news, Milton.
What? The epidemic's over?
I retrieved your wallet with all the money and a certain picture.
Well, yeah, Pippa Hawkins is my girl. So what? Is it the difference of skin colour that bothers you?
Not at all, Milton.
Good. Please, take this money anyway, to remind you to keep your mouth shut. Not everybody is as broad-minded as you, Dr. Reed.
What's going on between you and Nurse Hawkins?
Pippa's tired. Tired of all this shit. Tired of all those corpses piling up. She's as depressed as I am.
During the war, I witnessed a few couples just like you come together in difficult circumstances. It can be very damaging.
Maybe you're right. But we support each other. And that's all that matters.
True.
You do realize you could both get fired. Hospital staff are not meant to have intimate relationships with one another.
Come on, Dr. Reed. Do you know how many rules are broken in this hospital every day just to keep it running? There's nothing wrong with what we're doing.
Good point.
Goodbye, Milton. Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
Nurse Brannigan. Don't wonder.
Goodbye, Nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
Perhaps I should have considered the offer.
There she is. Looks tasty.
Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Personal question. Nope.
Don't worry, sir. I'll be back in a few minutes. Call me if you need, okay?
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
Anybody I don't know yet who I can actually get access to? Unknown. Bright light.
My sweet girl. Reads me like a book. You never could keep anything from her.
Good evening, Mr. Fiddick.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. Any news about my operation?
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later.
My sweet reads me like a book. Never could keep
Huh.
anything from her.
Something's going on here.
Good evening, Mr. Fiddick.
Good evening,
Oh.
Dr. Reed. Any news about my operation?
No, I didn't mean to.
Goodbye
click
for
on
now,
you, damn it.
Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later.
My sweet girl. Reads me like a book. Never could keep anything from her.
What can I do for you, Doctor?
Thank you, Nurse Crane.
But in the circumstances, I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt.
I'm all right.
Good evening, madam. Can I help you?
It's my son who needs you, sir.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. How can I help your son?
I'm Beatrice Goswick, mother of Mortimer Goswick. Could you check on him, please, Dr. Reed? I've heard much of your talents as a physician.
What can you tell me about yourself, Mrs. Goswick?
Not much to say. Just take care of my Mortimer and I'll
going
cover
on with
all
these
the
two.
expenses. That's all that matters.
Are you really that rich? Most of the patients here are of a more humble origin, if I may say so.
Yes, thanks to my husband. May he rest in peace. I can cover any needed medical expenses.
Interesting.
May I ask if you have an occupation, Mrs. Goswick?
I'm a teacher by profession. I teach young women who are more ambitious about their futures than their families.
What do you think of your reception here? Any complaints?
I have had the uttermost reservations about this hospital since we arrived. but we had no other choice, considering the state of emergency.
Is there something in particular that's bothering you?
Some of the staff were not especially welcoming. I suspect they're not accustomed to dealing with patients of such social standing.
Here we go.
Tell me more about your arrival at the Pembroke Hospital. What gave you such a bad first impression?
The ambulance driver was quite rude, for a start. And that nurse, Miss Hawkins, seems to have quite a dubious attitude.
What do you mean?
She managed to secure a bed for my son despite the epidemic. It was a relief, but it wasn't cheap.
She charged you for a bed?
Yes, and I paid without question, considering the urgency of the situation.
I share your concern, Mrs. Goswick. Be sure that I'll talk to the people involved.
I don't expect compensation, Dr. Reed. But I'm aware such behavior would not be tolerated in other hospitals.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick. Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed. Can I help at all?
No,
Really? Why are you here, then?
I don't want to talk. My throat hurts too much.
I suppose that this pain is the reason you're here. Is someone taking care of you?
Yes. And no.
Could you at least tell me your name, sir?
Mortimer. Mortimer Goswick.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Goswick.
I don't want to talk, Doctor.
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
I'm sure you realize a doctor and his patient have to communicate, sir. Would it help if I gave you some paper and a pen?
Not really.
I see. Then maybe it's not just your throat that hurts, Mr. Goswick. Perhaps your sore throat is just the consequence of something more hurtful.
Yes, maybe. But I don't want to talk or even write about it now.
Why did your mother have you hospitalized here? She seems convinced this is a bad hospital.
My mother just wants the best for me. She won't rest while I'm here. She'd go all the way to hell and back to help me.
Is your mother bothering you? As your doctor, I can ask her to leave you alone if you would prefer.
That's tempting, Doctor. But you have no idea what my mother is capable of.
This should be interesting.
She would tie herself to my bed if you asked her to leave.
Pembroke Hospital may look unorthodox, but rest assured you're in good hands here.
It's not me you have to convince, Dr. Reed. It's my mother.
I have to go now, sir. But don't hesitate to contact me if you need any help.
I'm alright. Don't waste your time with me.
Oh, it's not right in this room. Well, let's go find out this.
Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Pepper, I know you're very close to Milton Hooks.
Yes? Milton Hooks is my man. If you want to report me for that, just feel free, Doctor.
I have no intention of reporting you, Nurse Hawkins. But are you aware of the risks?
The rules say I won't be allowed to work as a nurse anymore. But here at the Pembroke, we break rules all the time.
Is he worth the risk?
Hey, I'm no perfect woman, and Milton is not the finest bloke. But we do our best to get by. That's all any of us can hope for nowadays.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
Which nurse charged her? Alright, I'll just talk to her again.
Good evening, Doctor. How is my son doing?
Tell me more about your arrival at the Pembroke Hospital. What gave you such a bad first impression?
The ambulance driver was quite rude, for a start. And that nurse, Miss Hawkins, seems to have quite a dubious attitude.
What do you mean?
She managed to secure a bed for my son despite the epidemic. It was a relief, but it wasn't...
Tell me more about your arrival. She charged you for a bed?
Yes.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
Good evening, sir.
Was her? There's just nowhere to pursue that with. Okay.
Good evening, Milt.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
Personal question. No. Life in London. No.
Goodbye, Milton.
Let's check something here. I need to know how to do something, so... Gameplay. Controls. Okay, medical checkup.
Blaming me will not further your agenda, sir. How long's it going to take to fix me, huh?
Good evening, sir.
This hospital seems to be falling apart. But in the... Good evening, Doctor. How is my son doing?
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick. Good evening, Mr. Goswick. How are you?
I'm okay.
Do you need any help?
I'm afraid I may, sir. I don't mean to be a burden.
I will see you later. I have to go now, sir. But don't hesitate to contact me if you need any help.
Don't waste your time with me.
I know what to do.
How can I be sure I'll not find your unconscious body in the house again?
I promise you, you'll not find my unconscious body.
For God's sake, how can you say such a thing?
How can you refuse to listen? I tried to warn you for so long.
No, I won't let my only son die. You promised me you'll stay alive.
Your son lied to you, like the whole world lies to us.
Interesting. Intends to take his own life. Very interesting. That was useful. I help Milton go. There he is. Go, Milton. Let's see what you got.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doc.
Let's do some trading.
I'd like to see your goods.
Wise choice, Dr. Reed. A reliable gun is what everybody needs these days.
Go out to the town.
From that Caterpillar fellow.
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
Do you require medical assistance, Nurse?
Thank you for your concern, but I'm fine.
Goodbye, Nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
Love dinner. Ow, I died. No. I don't think I'm ready to go into town. Yep, don't think I'm ready to go into town yet. Oh well. I had fun doing it. That's the point. Tis not to not die, is to enjoy your life before you do. take as many of those bastards with you. Waiting on the game to load. I love this game. Ow. Ooh, look, the doctor I haven't talked to yet.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed.
Always a pleasure to meet a colleague, sir. Especially when he was supposedly dead.
A colleague. Are you a doctor too?
Not anymore, sir. I used to be Dr. Rakesh Chadana. Now, I'm just Mr. Chadana, pawnbroker and humble guardian of this morgue.
What do you mean, you used to be a doctor? Was your license revoked?
No, sir. It is just that I like to be precise. I run a little pawn shop while taking care of the dead. But I used to be a real doctor.
Personal questions.
A pawnbroker? I expect you get all types of people here.
Yes, sir. All kind of people. For I sell all kind of goods.
Who comes here to trade with you? It's very unhygienic, even unsafe. Diseases can spread. For the customers, for the hospital.
I'm very cautious, sir. I've been a doctor, remember? And all my clients are good people. In fact, I think I only know good people.
What kind of goods?
With the quarantine, it's not always easy to buy things. So I trade, I exchange. Some people sell, some others buy. I like to help.
I like him.
Are you afraid or uneasy being surrounded by so many corpses?
Why should I? These bodies are empty vessels. Flesh left to decay. Poof. No soul anymore. All gone.
I like him.
An interesting point of view. And quite an exotic one, too. Most people fear, or at least have a respect, for dead flesh.
Sir, as a medic during the war, I learned to face my death and the death of others. It's the pain we have to tame, not death itself.
I like this
How
guy
did
the
you
more
get
I
this
talk to
job?
him.
After I left the army, I worked as an undertaker down by the docks. A dangerous place with many an unpleasant business there. Milton Hooks helped me get a job here.
Have we met before?
I don't think so, sir. Why?
When we first talked, you said you were glad to meet me since I was reported dead.
Funny story, sir. Your sister came here a few nights ago. You were missing, and she was looking for your body. She must be very relieved now.
I think she was right before I ate her.
Do you work here alone?
Yes, very easy work, sir. All I have to do is watch a few bodies. The situation was very different when the main morgue was still open.
Why close the hospital's main morgue?
It was for sanitary reasons after the beginning of the epidemic. Cadavers had to be moved to the nearest mass grave.
Why do you have to watch these bodies?
Because these poor fellows have no names. We keep them in case someone comes looking for the missing. Sadly, very rarely happens.
Since you're not afraid of dying, do you believe in life after death, Rakesh?
No. I believe we must do all the good we can while alive. For our time is short, and the obstacles are endless.
Do you think you would enjoy immortality as a concept?
I don't think so. Don't mistake me. I love life, and I'd like to live a long life. But everything has to decay, sir. Even goodwill.
So you're ready to die?
No, I am not. I don't fear death, for I won't see it. What troubles me is the pain my death will inflict to those I know.
You're a wise man, Mr. Chidana.
No, Dr. Reed. I am a foolish man. But I like to think otherwise.
I like him. He's awesome.
Do you really believe goodwill cannot last?
As I said, sir, everything decays. If I was to never die, goodness, I would be bored or worse. And I like to be helpful, sir.
Quite depressing, wouldn't you say?
Yes, but the good news is, we'll all die before losing our humanity, sir.
What are these guys?
Please show me what you have to sell.
Of course. It's just trinkets and curios, really. But I'm sure they can be useful.
Interesting. I'll buy that formula.
Tomorrow, more bodies will arrive and then sadly depart. Unmanaged train trouble.
I want to go this way.
My sweet girl. Reads me like a book.
Good evening, Mr. Goswick. How are you?
I'm okay.
Do you need any help?
I'm afraid I may, sir. I don't mean to be a burden.
I don't have to visit.
I will see you later. I have to go now, sir.
Okay.
But don't hesitate to contact me.
Good evening, sir.
I may need other medicine.
I'm so tired. Will this shit never end? I will not let you down.
Let's go talk to the bird guy. Actually, hold on. I like her. She's my favorite. She's my favorite.
Good evening, Miss Howcroft. How are you tonight?
I need blood, Doctor. Warm, rich, vibrant blood.
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
I suppose I don't actually have what I need. So I guess we'll just go up here. We haven't gone upstairs again yet. So go see what's Notice how shiny. New hint for him available. Some check. Go back downstairs real quick. I want to see what we unlocked of him.
Good evening, Mr. Elwood.
Evening, Dr. Reed.
Personal questions.
Why do you feel responsible for the injury, Thomas? What really happened?
I wasn't disfigured by any German shells. It happened during my leave.
Ow.
It was an accident.
Tell me what really happened then.
I went with a whore in Rouen. Dead drunk I was. The hotel was a shithole. There was a fire that night.
Did you start the fire? Were you trying to avoid going back to the front? That's not uncommon, you know.
No. It's just that I was asleep when the flames reached the room. The girl was long gone. Bitch never woke me up. Left me to burn.
Why lie about it?
Come on. It's one thing to come back disfigured by the Germans, and it's another to get injured in an accident that could have happened to anybody.
Reconstructive surgery has been very successful for some soldiers.
I don't want to wear a bloody mask for the rest of my life. I'd rather stay here and just be forgotten.
Why lie about it?
Come on. It's one thing to come back disfigured by the...
Reconstructive...
I don't want to wear...
Alright, we're gonna reload.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
Apparently we can't.
Disgust on every...
What happens so we just do this. Let's just try this. See if this works. Come on, back to this. I bet you the autosave screwed us and we're not going to get that info. This is not going to end well. They really need to refine the load times on this game. Though I do love this game. Come on, load. Where am I? Ah, sweet. Back to where I died at. Need to go up the stairs. Because that's where the info is. We'll give it one more good try. Oh no. Let me see here. Oh, I failed. It saved it. long as I don't use that knowledge to take advantage of you, you say.
The flower's dying. It needs water.
Let's analyze this formula. It needs interesting. Why is that lamp green? I love it. Alright, I don't think there's anything more I can do here. Let's sit down. I need to upgrade. Visible barrier. Wow. To increase my blood capacity. Huh. Oh yeah. Right, you need to do a little bit more damage. There we go, confirm. The more lives I take, the unhealthier the district becomes. Interesting. So the more people I eat in an area, the worse it'll get.
plan to stay here until my research is complete. I'd better learn to hide my true nature from the mortals. But what about my thirst for blood? The flower's dying. It needs water.
Come on, I don't have all night.
Yes, Nurse Crane? How can I help you?
I'm so sorry. I know Dr. Swansea wanted you to rest, but we have somewhat of a crisis.
A crisis, you say?
Our supply of antiseptics is nearly depleted. I was hoping there was another box up here, but...
What type of hospital are you running? No antiseptics?
You have been away too long, Doctor. With the war and now this epidemic, supplies have been running scarce for months now.
I may have a solution. In France, during the war, drugs shortage was a daily problem, and we had to use our wits to overcome the shortages.
However do you mean?
If combined correctly, certain household chemical products can be used in a pinch instead. Now, where's the hospital storeroom?
The storeroom? Fat chance. This is the Pembroke, and space is luxury we don't have. Everything used to be stored in the old morgue.
Perhaps I should look there first. Where is this morgue?
It's the large building behind the hospital. You'll need to go in the back door because it's been sealed off for sanitary reasons. Take this key. It opens a small back entrance at the end of a narrow street.
The abandoned morgue behind the hospital. A small door at the end of a narrow street. On my way then. Thank you, nurse.
Please come back later.
Damn.
It's locked.
I wonder why the Goswicks came here in the first place.
Please, sir. I need help bad.
What's going on?
I'm Blight, sir. Newton Blight. I've lost my mate. Can't find him anywhere.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed from the Pembroke Hospital. Please, calm down and give me more details.
Oswald and myself were both infantry, sir. We were en route for the hospital, but... well, we had a disagreement. And Oswald ran off towards the canal.
How long have you been searching for him?
I can't go there. Too many rats by the water. Fucking rats. Can't stand them since the war, sir. Can't stand them at all.
Don't be ashamed, Mr. Blight. Many soldiers who survived the trenches suffer from musophobia. I'll see what I can do for your friend. What can you tell me about yourself?
I'm Oswald's best friend. We served in the same regiment, sir. We've taken care of each other since we came back from the front.
What can you tell me about your friend?
His name is Oswald Thatcher. We survived the war together. Oswald is nervous and quite fragile since we came back from the war.
Standard.
Where was your friend the last time you saw him?
He went down by the canal. He didn't want to go to the hospital. I think he went to the sewers on purpose. So I couldn't go after him.
This is a dangerous part of town. What are you doing here?
We were looking for the Pembroke Hospital. We both need help. Treatment, I mean. To get some sleep. Just need to feel better, sir.
I have all the information I need for now. If I find anything out about your friend, I'll let you know as soon as I can.
Thank you, Dr. Reed.
I cannot enter.
Activate the door. It's loading up the place. Healthy district. No. Pizza delivery. This place is Ah. Definitely not alone in here.
Behavior is similar to the infected William Bishop. Must be the same strain. This sickness moves faster than influenza. This key will surely grant me access to the basement. It's locked. Balls of Mars. Fortifiers. As popular as they are ineffective. But they do contain iron tartrate, and that might prove itself useful.
Watery, rich blood sample. I saw you. You're gonna be my boss fight, aren't you? These scavs feed from corpses and husks of animals. They're not after blood. interesting. Very interesting. Ah, it's a long, sharp surgical knife.
Skulls can be so ferocious. I'm not sure I can defeat them without becoming stronger. To drink blood is so tempting. Sodium hypochlorite. Dangerous to administer, but efficient in the proper dosage.
The joy of eating the corpse. Oof. Do this. We have an analyzation thing. some skulls. Got 'em. Treatment. Loading. Come on, load already. Thank you. Okay. Shiny door. Ooh, a trash can. Public notice. That's actually not a terrible idea. What was that? Oh. Those two. What are those two numbers doing?
Good evening, Miss Howcroft. How are you tonight?
I need blood, Doctor. Warm, rich.
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
Please, someone help.
You always knew the words to calm.
Finally, you've returned, Doctor. Did you find anything of value?
Yes, nurse.
You've worked your first miracle, Doctor. Now, this patient here needs immediate treatment.
Duty calls. When the storm has passed, I'll show you how to mix the remedy yourself with the same basic ingredients.
Many thanks, Doctor. When you've finished, you ought to report to Dr. Swansea in his office. He's been looking for you. Seemed pressing.
Alright.
Good evening, Mr. Goswick. How are you?
I'm okay.
Do you need any help?
I'm afraid I may, sir. I don't mean to be a burden.
You are not a burden, sir. Healing you is my responsibility.
And you have my gratitude for that.
Admit it, Mortimer. Your mother had you hospitalized here because you tried to kill yourself.
Yes, it's true.
All right, then. This is the first time we've really shared information about your case. Shall we call this progress?
Call it what you want, Dr. Reed.
You can trust me. I won't report you to the authorities. My one and only concern is your health.
I guess I should thank you, then.
Can I help you in any way, Mr. Goswick?
I wrote a letter for my mother. She was supposed to read it after my death. But I suppose she doesn't have to read it now.
I see. And is this letter still near the place where you tried to take your own life?
Yes. And I don't want anyone reading my last words. I mean, I'm still here. If you bring me back that letter, then perhaps we'll talk.
Very well.
I have to go now, sir. But don't hesitate to contact me if you need any help.
Good evening, sir. Doctor.
I will not let you down, my boy.
Not an actual player, like just humanoid object. You're not dead. Why are you
dead? They know we are overwhelmed.
Good evening, sir.
So it is true. The famous Dr. Reed has joined us. I can't think of any better news during these terrible times.
Do we know each other?
Actually, yes. We met once before, at the Rockefeller University in New York.
Dr. Tippett, yes, I remember. I was assisting Professor Carell in his research about coronary bypasses. He had nothing but praise for you.
He was also very confident about your future. And look at you now. Eminent surgeon and blood transfusion specialist.
Yes, I am. Back.
You're exhausting yourself, Corcoran. Maybe you should think about preserving your strength.
No. We must keep on healing all those poor souls. We are the last rampart before chaos. Once more unto the breach.
The sadistic three-way choice. Based off of what we know, which isn't a whole hell of a lot.
Your attitude is irresponsible, Doctor. Believe me, I've seen so many medical errors caused by exhaustion during the war.
You're right. This is a war, Dr. Reed, and I don't intend to surrender.
You're exhausting yourself, Corcoran. Maybe you should think about preserving your strength.
No. We must keep on healing all those poor souls. We are the last...
Your attitude...
You're right.
Maybe I failed.
Do you need any medical assistance yourself, Doctor?
Come on, don't be ridiculous, dear colleague.
Goodbye, Dr. Tippett.
Did I screw him up? Should have went with that. Too late now. But if I follow him.
Perhaps I should have considered the offer from that Cadigan fellow.
You are going to reveal all your secrets to me. Even the darkest thoughts in your heart.
My blood and soul. They belong to you now.
The life running in your veins. This dead flesh needs it.
Oh, please spare me, Dark Queen. Spare your obedient slave. Disgust on every street corner. Daily routine.
Perhaps I should have considered the offer from that Cadigan fellow.
Maybe items in places there weren't items before, because it's a new thing.
You
Hello again, Dr. Reed. I feel better already. Can I go soon?
Goodbye, Mr. Hampton. We'll talk again later.
I'll eat you later.
Spare me, Dark Queen. Spare your obedient slave.
his name? Stuff.
I'm quite busy right now, Dr. Reed.
Tell me, Waverly, what do you think of Dr. Strickland's enthusiasm for his experimental research?
Strickland is playing with his patients' lives for pride and glory. Now that, sir, is unethical.
Are you thinking about something in particular?
Harvey Fiddick needs delicate surgery. I believe we should stick to the usual procedure, but my young colleague obviously disagrees.
Why do you wish to lead this surgery?
I strongly believe that Mr. Fiddick should not be butchered to test an unproven procedure.
Oh, this is hard. What do you guys think?
I really hope you're right about this, Dr. Ackroyd. I'm trusting your judgment on this.
I'm not the kind of man who runs away from his responsibilities, Dr. Reed. There is no need for you to be looking over my shoulder.
And are you not afraid that your rivalry with Strickland may be blinding you?
Rivalry? I guess you could call it that. But I will never be childish enough to let my personal feelings affect my judgment.
Thank you for your time. We'll talk later.
Never could keep anything from her.
Good evening, Dr. Strickland.
And good evening to you, Dr. Reed. Can I be of any help?
Tell me more about your will.
Harvey,
what is Feck? Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
You always knew the words to calm the children, Ellen.
I suppose it does. What's he up to? Missed whatever he was doing.
Lost its effect on me. But the suffering continued.
Surely I can endure another night.
Where are you off to?
Damn. The pain. It's here again.
There we are. What are you up to? Oh my.
Damn it! Why is this so difficult every time?
That is better. That is better. I will make it through one more night.
Good evening, Dr. Tibbets.
Dr. Reed, any good news to share?
You could say that. You're taking drugs.
I know you're taking drugs, Corcoran. Why take such a risk?
I need it to endure the long shifts. We have no idea how long the epidemic will last. We can't let it win.
responsible. You are very irresponsible, Doctor. Let's make you suffer.
I understand the gesture, Doctor. An immediate answer to an emergency situation, but this can't be a long-term solution.
Thank you for your understanding, my dear colleague. And be assured, I have total control of my consumption.
Goodbye, Dr. Tippett.
So he's taking drugs. Where's Nurse Brannigan? I remember she has a lot of things to do with him. There she is.
You're gonna be alright.
Hello, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
God, you look like a man.
Tell me, Nurse, did you know Dr. Tippett was addicted to medication?
I suspected this behavior for some time, but never dared to ask him about it. Until the day he confessed to me.
Why would he confess to you about his addiction, Nurse Brannigan?
Don't you know you doctors can't hide anything from a nurse? We're always there, even if you don't notice us.
Do you consider yourselves our confessors, Nurse Brannigan?
I wouldn't dare, Dr. Reed. But I'm intrigued. How did you discover Dr. Tippett's secret?
What can I say? I seem to have a knack for discovering secrets.
And for hiding them as well.
Oh.
Do you
She's been trying to
approve
learn
of
things
his
about
addiction?
me, I see.
Of course I don't approve. But I understand he needs it to fight the exhaustion. Let's hope he'll stop injecting himself once the epidemic is over.
And what if he doesn't?
Then we'll have to convince him to stop. I believe he's still in control of his addiction, for now, but we must remain vigilant.
Goodbye, Nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
Please, Jonathan, come in.
What are you, Shakespeare?
Fascinating, is it not? In the last decade, so many mysteries have been brought to light with our microscopes. The human body, biology's penultimate frontier. The more we explore its boundaries, the less we're able to trace a clear line between life and death. You, my friend, have a foot in both countries. The view must be vertiginous.
It's at least as vertiginous as chatting about vampires with you, I would say.
This must be all so new to you. This area of town, the hospital, a brand new life. How stimulating it must be.
I wish I could share your enthusiasm,
I feel like
Dr.
this has got
Swansea,
a hard-on.
but my condition defies scientific categorization. Undead? Unalive? Immortality defies logic.
I cannot express my thrill at this serendipitous turn of events. The world's most eminent specialist in blood transfusions, a vampire. One might say a gift from heaven.
I'm a living spirit. Oh, if I hadn't felt that one before, I definitely feel it now.
There is an absurd poetry to my situation. Physician, heal thyself.
Forgive me. I've been an admirer of your work for a long time, and now you are so much more than a brilliant physician. And please, call me Edgar.
No, I played the music.
There is no need to apologize, Edgar. You offered me sanctuary when I had none.
Very well. I have a task for you, Jonathan. Something that will require all your newfound skills.
Please, go on.
The Pembroke only survives through the generosity of our benefactors. Unfortunately, our main donor has found herself in a bit of a bind. Now, if you could help her out...
A spokesman or politician is what you need. That's not my calling. And until I come to understand what has happened to me, I require discretion.
Discretion is in order, Jonathan. Lady Ashbury has recently received rather indelicate correspondence that, if revealed, would jeopardize her position.
And you would like me to eradicate this threat?
By the stole, of course not. I would just like you to pay her a visit. Her ladyship is certainly near the tents outside, tending the sick. You can't miss her. Look for someone impossibly delicate.
Accepted. I'll see what kind of trouble Lady Ashbury is in.
Neither of which are in this game. Shiny. Aha, collectibles.
I cannot enter.
Let's go kick some ass.
Pembroke.
Good evening, Dr. Tibbets.
Dr. Reed, any good news to share?
Have you heard of any underhand dealings going on in this hospital?
I have no time for such triviality, my dear colleague. We're here to save lives.
I think she's very confused.
What can you tell me about the staff in the hospital?
Some are really good, and others are not so good. But during this troubled period, there is no time for slander. I prefer to focus on the positive character traits.
Figured it out.
Tell me more about cherished people, then.
Nurse Brannigan is a pearl. She is the most helpful and dedicated nurse I've ever worked with. A clever and cheerful woman.
You really seem to admire her skills.
I'll go even further. If she was a man, she would be a damn fine practitioner.
Any opinion about the management?
I don't always agree with Dr. Swansea's reserve, but I must admit he does all he can to keep this facility running during this crisis.
Ah, yes, the burden of command. I was fed up with this concept while serving as a medical officer.
Don't get me wrong. Swansea's a good administrator. I just wish he would get out of his office now and again.
Goodbye, Dr. Tippett. Good evening, Milton.
Good evening,
Have you heard of any underhand dealings going on in this hospital?
There are a lot of secrets round here. I'm not surprised someone tried to make money from them.
What kind of secrets?
I'm not in the gossip business, Dr. Reed. If you want to know more, you better talk to Harriet Jones. She's the oldest patient here.
Goodbye, Milton.
The flu took my dear wife, Emily. I take comfort knowing we'll soon be together again.
Mr. Rainfield, that's no way to talk. You're in good hands here, and we'll be up again soon enough. Now do me a kindness and get some sleep. I'll be back round later.
Your words are kind, the blessings of an angel. You're the sweet, sweet Lady of Mercy.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. It's a pleasure to see you again. You seem surprised. Dr. Swansea has brought me up to speed concerning your recent appointment to Pembroke Hospital.
You're a the lady who saved me that night, before vanishing into thin air. I remember you from the pub with Dr. Swansea.
Indeed. Allow me to introduce myself formally this time. My name is Lady Ashbury. I remember you well, in spite of the brevity of our encounter.
So it seems our Dr. Swansea does indeed have a fascination for creatures of our constitution.
Dr. Swansea is a remarkable man. Dedicated, one might say, obstinate? He spent years compiling our bestiary.
I hope you're more disposed to answer my questions now.
You must have countless questions, but our rather urgent matter first. Swansea has explained. My cover, if you prefer, has been compromised.
Have any of the patients given you trouble?
These poor souls have so little left to live for. I do my best to ease their pain.
The world would be a better place if it were cared for by women like you.
Oop. One moment. Technical difficulties.
Have any of
These poor...
The world would be a...
You make me blush. I am simply a necessary evil.
There we go.
Pardon my boldness, your ladyship, but I have questions concerning this condition we share.
As a newborn, your hunger for answers is rivaled only by your thirst for blood. But the questions need wait.
I'm a scientist. My trade is in the deciphering of mysteries, and I need information to feed my mind.
I will gladly answer every question you have, but first, prove yourself capable of resolving my predicament without eating the culprit.
But... without eating him? But...
Dr. Swansea has commissioned me to be your agent in this matter. You could start by explaining what's amiss.
These past insufferable weeks, I've been the victim of extortion. I've made a first payment, but the blackmailer grows greedy. I must refuse his most recent demands.
Who would be so foolish as to threaten you? A kindred spirit.
Even if it were the case, and I highly doubt it, a vampire would have asked for something more valuable than money. My suspicions lean toward a patient, or their family.
What are your expectations? Please be precise.
As the newly appointed surgeon of this hospital, you are in an excellent position to ask innocent questions and deftly learn the identity of my blackmailer.
If we're dealing with an ordinary criminal, surely you've the means to deal with it yourself, if I may.
As immortal tradition doth dictate, all fangs and hypnotic eyes ablaze, the blood would run like a river. That's what I hope to avoid. Violence has a tendency to spiral out of control.
Please continue. Every detail is essential. I'm your man.
My embarrassment in this matter is eclipsed only by my shame at having put the hospital at risk. The threat from our anonymous scoundrel is clear. A list of dates. My visits coinciding with the dates of suspicious patient deaths due to massive blood loss.
Is it true?
Now aren't you the blunt one?
Excuse my impertinence, your ladyship. This is not an interrogation. I assure you that this line of questioning is in your best interest.
In all honesty, I'm not simply a patron to the hospital. My visits serve a dual purpose. Dr. Swansea has been treating my condition with a revolutionary technique of blood transfusion. It seems you are a specialist in the domain.
I'll take care of it. Do you know where I should start?
If that was the case, I'd settle the matter myself. You could talk to our local gossip, Harriet Jones. Not a pin drops here without her hearing about it.
I'll meet that woman now.
My life, as others know, is in your hands, Dr. Reed. I'm sure of your discretion, but I do fear your powers of persuasion will be put to the test. When this is resolved, I'll be your obligé. I'll answer all questions in regards of your condition.
One guy needed help down by the sea.
Have you found Oswald?
Not yet, sir. I need more information first.
All right. What do you want to know?
Where was your friend the last time you saw him?
He went down by the canal. He didn't want to go to the hospital. I think he went to the sewer. It was on purpose. So I couldn't go after him.
I have all the information I...
Thank you, Doctor. What must I do? What must I do? This isn't even my neighborhood. We've dodged death so many times. Oswald, you can't just die like this.
Fear and disgust on every street corner. The daily routine.
What is this? Who are you? Get out of my room.
There's no need for alarm, madam. I'm Dr. Reed, the new surgeon.
Preposterous. Dr. Reed, you say? I don't want some bumbling intern. Where's Dr. Swansea?
Oh, so tempted to just say shut up. I'm so tempted to say shut up. Call me an intern. Don't mind me calling an intern. See? What do you guys think? Leave it to the viewers. Should we go with here? Shut up.
Please, calm down, madam. I assure you that I am highly qualified. I'm just back from war duty.
How brave. Threatening an old defenseless woman. You know how long I've been a patient here? You've picked the wrong fight. I'm Harriet Jones.
Harriet Jones? Indeed. I've been meaning to have a chat with you. You know what goes on here better than any other patient, I gather.
Oh, better than any patient, nurse, or doctor. I've seen so many vile undertakings.
I heard there have been some despicable goings-on. Was there a case of blackmail?
Blackmail? Wait. You're investigating something. This isn't a social call. One of those incompetent cunts slit a poor sod's vein.
You seem to know more about the goings-on here than anyone else. Beware, Miss Jones, in case suspicion should fall on you.
That's it. Blame the old and infirm. I see those little bitches' greedy little eyes. Just waiting for me to pop off, they are.
If I didn't know better, Miss Jones, I'd be inclined to say you enjoy this type of idle gossip.
God's honest truth, Doctor. It's just the way it is here. Most of these bitches would let you freeze to death before getting you a blanket.
Fuck, I actually like it.
I assure you, madam, this is not an investigation into a possible medical error.
Debauchery, then? Nurses Crane, Hawkins, Brannigans, whores, all of them. They can't keep their legs shut. I've seen them scratching slutty sores.
Really? Well, if you have irrefutable proof, I'll not have the staff behaving in such a manner here.
This is your business, Doctor, not mine. But I swear one of the nurses is cavorting with some man on hospital hours.
Thank you for your time, Miss Jones. You've given me something to go on. See you on the next round.
I actually like her.
The patients and staff might know something. I'll start my investigation with them.
I wasted too much energy for so little result.
Tag.
Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
What can you tell me about the strange man visiting one of the nurses during her shift?
Let me guess. You spoke with that old shrew, Harriet Jones. Do not pay attention to her, Doctor. She's full of fanciful tales.
She could have been telling the truth about the mysterious man.
That old witch will end up in hell soon enough. Who cares if a nurse finds some happiness where she can?
No matter how you feel about her, Miss Jones deserves our help.
Who says I don't care for her? Hate is what keeps that old crone alive.
What can you tell me about the strange...
Let me guess.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
Let's go talk. Like, you're going to be more useful.
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
Do you know if any of the hospital staff have criminal backgrounds?
The people who work here all come from very different backgrounds, Doctor. Just like the patients.
Have you seen a strange man visiting any of the nurses here?
I've never heard of such a thing, Doctor.
Why does Dr. Tippett claim you're the main reason he keeps working, despite his fatigue?
If it wasn't for him, I probably would have left the Pembroke years ago.
Dr. Tippett does not think of you as just a nurse anymore, does he?
If you're suggesting he's not taking my gender into consideration when it comes to medical practice and knowledge, I really hope he doesn't.
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
What else can you do?
Have you found us?
Not yet, sir.
All right.
I have all the information.
Thank you.
You're sure you don't come back with me?
Nah, I have to see someone at the hospital.
Be careful. You look so bad they may keep you as a patient.
Fuck 'em. I don't like hospitals or doctors.
Well then, when you go back to Whitechapel, you may find this useful.
What is it?
A pass for a free medical exam by the best nurse available. Just read it.
I don't read well, but thank you, I guess.
I need to go to the sewer anyway. Load already! The hell did I put there? Oh well. Alright, Dougie Duck.
He's locked the door behind him. I need to find another way to follow him. This man has been savagely attacked and dragged to the floor.
can't breathe. I can't breathe.
Are you injured, sir?
Help me get out of here. I need to get out.
I'm Dr. Reed, and I'd be glad to help you, but you must calm down first. Please, take a deep breath and tell me your name.
Okay. I'm Oswald Thatcher. Please, I need to get out.
Mr. Thatcher, your friend Newton sent me to help you. Do you remember him?
Yes, I do.
Good. Now leave this place and enjoy the cool night air. It's quite invigorating. I'm sure you'll feel better if you do. Are you sure you're all right, sir?
Yes, I'll be. As soon as I can see the sky again.
I don't want to talk to you. I want to open this crate behind you.
Are you sure you're all right?
Ow! Thank you. That'll switch areas. Don't want to switch areas. What up, big guy?
This is despicable. What sort of creature is this? Not a lot to check, but I should anyway. Some voucher for a free checkup in Whitechapel. What is Nurse Crane up to? I really must find her.
load times on this are terrible.
This is an impressive knife. There's a name engraved on the metal. Clay. What kind of man puts his name on a knife?
Investigation failed because I already ate him. My city needs me.
Last warning, sir! Best be moving on. I said stay away, sir! Leech spotted! Watch out!
I missed him off.
Piece of shit!
I'm not sure where anybody would be German.
Did you hear me? Get that weapon! Vernon! That's what you do. Die, Vernon!
Looks like there could be something in there. went the wrong way anyway. Eh. Right. Just gonna talk to what's his name. Is he still down here or is he up at the hospital? Also, thank you for the follow. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce your name. I'm sorry. At a glance, I can't actually get enough information about it to get it right. Alright, it's gonna be up here somewhere.
The pain.
Simpletons, these nurses. More disguised as a hospital. That's Pembroke nowadays.
I don't see them up here. Okay. They're not up here, it just means I don't see them yet. Oh yeah, I have to get to that. I need to get over there. So, yeah, this will be Wet Boot Boys Note. Interesting. Very interesting.
Steady, boys! We've got one of them!
That is my favorite activity. Ow! You annoy me. I'm not even gonna eat you. Well, hello. Wonder what's behind this door. I do apologize for that. My hand bumped the microphone there. Let's find out. This time on load screen. Half expected him to get
up. I can't believe I'm doing this. It's locked, all right.
Let's talk to him.
What happened? Who are you?
It's all right, sir. You're safe now.
Oh, a fellow Englishman. Thank you, sir. For a moment, I thought those bloody heathens had killed me.
What are you doing here? This place is not safe.
Yeah, it's a cesspool, but it's mine. I came to collect some overdue rent, but those who still live here have gone completely bonkers.
You're very lucky to be alive.
Really? Yeah, filthy immigrants. Fucking savages, every one of them. And now with this bloody fever, they're just animals.
You can find safety of sorts in Whitechapel. If you're quick and cautious, you'll be able to avoid the savages.
I kind of want to eat him. He's kind of a dick.
This is despicable.
Front door open. like I need to go back to the house, safe house, and rest. Where am I? Let's see, how much XP have I accumulated? Back to the nearest safe place.
It's locked, all right.
It's locked? Locked, you say?
It's locked.
Except for that one, apparently. Let's evolve. We need to be stronger. need to stabilize the tunnels. You're a pillar of the community. So if I eat you, the whole damn thing falls down. Alright. Good to know. Super secrets about this. Alrighty, everybody. Let's take this minute to say thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Vampyr and continue to enjoy this game. I know I do. But that's really beside the point. I'm gonna keep playing it. If you guys keep watching it, you guys keep watching it. All I can hope is that I am successfully managing to keep all of my viewers entertained. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, follow, support in any way you can. Whether it's just harassing your friends to come watch it, just watching it yourself, or supporting financially with the donation button, or going to the Patreon page. Either one. It doesn't matter. As long as you are enjoying yourself while watching these videos, that is my priority. Until next time, this is Zallgo signing off. I'll see you guys later.